Elite Facts presents
7 most potentially dangerous dog breeds you can own. Before we start this list, please understand that we aren't saying you shouldn't own a dog from these breeds. We believe that a dog's mentality and disposition all depends on how it was raised. If it's raised correctly, it can be the sweetest thing in existence, no matter what breed it is. However, if it's not trained properly or treated right, you can expect a few bites from these breeds for your trouble. Here are our 7 most dangerous domesticated dog breeds.
7.
Caucasian Ovcharka. Okay, so technically we're starting the list off with a breed that, although argued to be one of the most dangerous breeds out there, is also one of the least popular dog breeds you can own. The Caucasian Ovcharka, also known as the Caucasian Shepherd, was bred with the sole intention to protect livestock. The typical Caucasian Ovcharka is assertive, strong-willed, and courageous. However, unless properly socialized and trained, the Caucasian Shepherd may exhibit ferocious and unmanageable tendencies, since it does not accept people it does not know and has a powerful urge to defend.
6.
Huskies, all breeds. Without a doubt, one of the most beautiful dogs on this list is the Husky. This breed of dog is similar in mentality to that of the German Shepherd. They're known for being outgoing, intelligent, gentle, and friendly. So again, this is another breed of dog that, if trained correctly and taken care of properly, will be incredibly loyal and loving towards you and your family. However, another trait it retains in terms of mentality is that it is very much alert. These creatures were used to pull sleds in the northern regions and differentiated for their fast pulling style. They were also utilized for sled dog racing and for adventure trekking. However, they can be dangerous to smaller animals due to their strong predator instinct, and are widely known for being destructive if they're bored. So, for the love of God, please keep them entertained, or else you're going to have to buy a new garden fence, a new sofa, and probably a new cat, depending on how wild it gets. Now, yes, it does have a destructive personality, but as we keep saying, if they are trained properly, they won't attack any humans, but it doesn't change the fact that they can be potentially dangerous, so keep that in mind when purchasing and training one of these animals.
5.
German Shepherd. German Shepherds are one of the most loyal dog breeds out there, and is definitely one of the most intelligent breeds. German Shepherds are often trained and used by police to search and catch criminals, as well as to sniff out any narcotics. This breed of dog originated from Germany. Duh. It has been reported that the German Shepherd can weigh as much as 70 to 100 pounds. These creatures are absolutely massive. They're also known for being confident, alert, vigilant, and fearless. As we previously stated, the police use them for their canine units. However, caution must be exercised with shepherds, as they can become overprotective of their family and territory, and if not socialized correctly, can lead to vicious attacks. Believe us, you don't want a 70-plus pound dog snapping at you. But if trained correctly, these dogs are incredible to have as a family member.
4.
Dalmatian. Bet you didn't see that one coming, unless you know a lot about the mentality of a Dalmatian. So Dalmatians are always given a very positive image in the media. I mean, look at the obvious example of this, 101 Dalmatians. The dogs presented in that film seem very placid and adorable. Yes, we know it's a Disney animation, but our point still stands. They seem adorable because of the way the media presents them. However, these dogs can be pretty damn unpredictable. Now, okay, it does sound like we're completely giving them a bad name. For the most part, we're just making a little joke because in reality, Dalmatians aren't that bad. This breed is extremely loyal to its owners. In fact, maybe a little too loyal. These guardians are always longing for sweeping everyone and everything off in order to make way for their owners. So, in one aspect, these creatures are loyal to their owner, so if you're a stranger, maybe cross the road for your own safety. Dalmatians are commonly born deaf. That's why training a Dalmatian does no good as a rule. As a result, the animal grows uncontrollable and willful. So, in a way, it can't really be helped in terms of this breed acting out. All we can say is just make sure to keep an eye on them, more just to be safe.
3.
Doberman. Yet another predictable breed makes the list. Much like the Pit Bull, the Doberman has definitely gained a reputation over the years as one of the most vicious pets a person could own. Their main mentality traits are as follows. Doberman can be obedient, fearless, and intelligent, making them the ideal candidate for being a guard dog. They're also loyal, like most dogs who are brought up and trained correctly, and of course, they're also energetic and alert, thus making them unpredictable and dangerous. Now, although vicious, much like every other dog on this list, the Doberman is extremely loyal to its owner and will do anything in their power to make sure that they're not in danger. Now, that's not a bad thing, as Doberman are commonly used as guard dogs. However, the last thing you want is one of these massive beasts running down a field and biting someone because they thought they were a threat. They're very overprotective like that.
2,
English Bull Terrier, Pit Bull. Okay, can we just say that although this dog looks rough, there's something about the egg-shaped snout and head that's just adorable? No? Okay, moving on. Anyway, the English Bull Terrier is a different kettle of fish when compared to other terriers on this list. Their mentality is as follows. They're trainable, keen, protective, sweet-tempered, and active. So again, like most dogs on this list, they're loyal and lovable if trained correctly. However, you may have noticed that trainable is one of their traits. Weird how that's something that's brought to light. Bull Terriers are known for having a strong prey drive. What this means is that Bull Terriers are an incredibly dangerous dog breed towards smaller animals. That means if you own a cat, you'll either have to change your mind about adopting a Bull Terrier or make sure to keep a constant eye on both your cat and your dog. It should also be noted that Bull Terriers are exceptionally strong dogs. How strong? Well, they put the German Shepherd to shame, as Bull Terriers are ranked #1 in pound-for-pound lean muscle tissue. God, I feel like a UFC commentator going over the statistics. That being said, however, these creatures aren't all that aggressive. In fact, they can be one of the most fun breeds out there due to how energetic they can be, in a good way we might add, as well as how loyal and loving they are to their owner.
1,
Staffordshire Terrier, Pit Bull. Okay, yeah, this is a little bit of a cheat, but they're quite different in mentality when compared to the English Bull Terrier. Let's be honest, the Pit Bull was bound to show up on this list. This breed of dogs have certainly earned a negative reputation. It's a shame, honestly, because these dogs can be the sweetest dogs you could adopt. Again, it's all mainly down to how it was raised and trained. The Pit Bull Terrier, alongside with the English and American Staffordshire Terriers, is one of the breeds whose international standard regards human aggression as a disqualifying characteristic. In other words, the specimens of these breeds which demonstrate aggression to humans rather than to other animals are excluded from breeding, and they aren't allowed to compete in dog shows and canine sports. The term Pit Bull encompasses certain breeds of dog, from the American Pit Bull Terrier, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, the American Staffordshire Terrier, and the American Bulldog. Originally bred for baiting bulls and bears, the majority of these breeds were also used for dog fighting in numerous parts of the world, and is considered as the most dangerous dog in America. And as far as Europe and the US are concerned, such dogs are sold only as pets, with obligatory preliminary or following sterilization. Now, yes, we've said this a dozen times over the course of this list, and this dog breed is no exception. It's all down to how these dogs are brought up. Now, yes, we'll admit that the Pit Bull and a few others on this list are unpredictable in terms of their mentality, so there is admittedly a risk when taking one of these creatures in as your own. However, if they're brought up and raised correctly, they can be the most loyal and loving creatures you can imagine. Not to mention a little bit loopy, but think loopy like a Labrador, not loopy like insane.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.